My name is Conlon, I'm 20. My job is in a call centre for car finance. I also do personal training. Favourite film is Donnie Darko. It's got young Jake Gyllenhaal, my boy, and I just love the kind of aesthetic and mood to it as well.
So I actually have 5 jobs on top of a full-time degree. I am in Glasgow Caledonian doing media and communication with journalism and music, but I also am the chief brand ambassador for Scotland, Scottish students for BBC Radio 1. I am the fashion editor of The Edit, which is the GCU student magazine. I'm a barmaid, I'm an artist manager, and I'm a production manager for a radio station.
Hi, I'm Dylan Hart, and I'm 21. I do fashion design and manufacture. I'm in second year in college, and I work in a gay bar in town called Speakeasy. I'm quite a social person, so I go out quite a lot. I like drawing, so I draw like different things that are not involved in my coursework and stuff. Like dance and house music, so Fat 01 and SWG3 are kind of like my go-to places. But I used to work at Polo, so that's quite good as well.
My name is Tony Elaine Kashmiri, I am 27. My favourite book of all time is All Quiet on the Western Front. I absolutely love that. And The Life of Pi, not because of the whole, I don't know, sort of cheery attitude it sort of comes with before, you know, the horrible ending. Like, I liked the way that the guy was so obsessed with religion and made it perfectly normal to go around celebrating all these different religions and how the religion kept tying into the story. I liked the way that was written in.
Mental health issues probably started when I was maybe, I'd say 16, so kind of high school time. That's when they really started to kind of kick in. My main issues started off as anxiety, and slowly over time kind of developed into being diagnosed with depression and all such other things.
I was diagnosed with chronic anxiety and then like severe depression when I was about 12, 13, and yeah, it doesn't go away.
So I suffer with a bit of anxiety and a bit of depression as well. I think it's from like a lot of, like, I never normally like had the anxiety attacks and stuff. I've just been through like quite a lot of quite mental experiences that have like flared up anxiety.
Imagine the thing that makes you happiest. You can picture it in your head, it's clear as day. You can even do that thing that makes you happiest, and it doesn't make you happy.
I don't know if you've ever just been so scared to do something that you've frozen, like a deer in headlights. That was what it was like for me. Like, speaking out in class was like my nightmare, the stuff of nightmares. And I think that's where the struggle with mental illness started, but no one, especially not me, seen it as mental illness at the time. We just thought it was extreme shyness, which maybe it was, but it's led to a realisation in my adulthood, my final year of uni, which was really, really bad, that I have a form of anxiety, that I struggle with social interactions.
Anxiety attack, like, it's like really intense. You kind of like feel like this like bubble of fear just kind of come over you for like no apparent reason whatsoever. The kind of parts that I struggle with most are like the chest pains and feeling that you can't breathe.
I have very bad coping mechanisms. I've gone through stages where I have drank for nights on end. Over Christmas there was a bad one. I was drinking every single night, going into work hungover, just drinking whenever I get the chance to. Before that, gambling, you know, the good ones. Lost a bit of money, which in turn made me worse. Another coping mechanism I do have, which I'm not proud of, is self-harm.
I don't like associating myself with anyone that stresses me out. I don't like doing anything that stresses me out. And I'm quite lucky that in all my jobs, they're all very good with mental health issues. So if I have something that's like super stressing me out, I can just be like, yo, like Aiden, my boss, I'm just like, I feel like crap. And he'll just be like, that's fine. Go and take like half an hour out. So it does actually help. Like although I do a lot, what I actually do is something I enjoy as well. So I think that's also really important to like just cope day to day, just to do things you enjoy and associate yourself with things that make you happy and just know your limits.
There's definitely a stigma. A lot of times I won't tell people in work or new people that I talk to, just because I feel as though they'll always think differently about me or act differently around me if I was to tell them.
There is definitely a stigma about it, but I do think people really need to understand it more and just like actually, like if people actually talked about mental health more openly, I think that would really help, because each person is different as well.
The problem with mental health is that people who don't necessarily have mental health issues like use it as like an excuse for things sometimes, like, or they'll be like, oh my god, I've got like my anxiety and stuff like that, when like they actually aren't diagnosed or like don't really know like a lot about it.
In some places, mental health isn't seen as a thing. They're just having a really hard time and they'll kick out of it. You know, like, you're just shy, it's fine, get over it. You're just being uncomfortable, you're just being really, really annoying right now. Why are you being like this? Just get over it. You're just trying to ruin someone's day, and that's not the case. Mental health is an actual thing that people struggle with, that needs help, that needs time and healing. It's not something that you just sweep under the table and just assume that the people that have it are sick. But a lot of people do, and I think it's a really dangerous stigma still going about.
If you're in crisis, there are crisis services. We have something called First Crisis, but there's also other good services, organisations like the Samaritans. There are group opportunities, so we provide anxiety management groups. There's also one-to-one support, psychotherapy and counselling. You could consider going to your GP as well. It's always good to consider your GP because they're obviously the gatekeepers for further support and any medication if you needed it. And it's also important that if you have an issue, that you get and you talk to someone who can give you the opportunity to what we call normalise. So that's about giving people messages that these problems are very common. 1 in 4 mental health, so depression and anxiety is 1 in 4, very common in the population, alongside heart disease and cancer, the major physical issues. This is an idea of, you know, how big the problem is. But in addition, people should use their own resources, so meaningful activities, hobbies, self-help, and things like exercise, healthy eating, what have you. And we promote a lot of that through the groups we do. We do gardening groups, walking groups, physical activities, creative groups. We've got a creative writing group and stuff like that. And once a year we have the Mental Health Arts and Film Festival in conjunction with other services. And that's about promoting mental well-being through the arts and creative activity. Yes, I do. And I think it's especially an issue around suicide. The subject of suicide, the fact that suicide is the biggest killer of men under the age of 45. And I think it's cultural, and I think it's also an education issue in terms of the history, so the legal connection. It used to be illegal in the 60s, whatever, so you still hear the concepts like committed when it's not actually offence. In addition, the misconception that asking people a question about suicide means you will give them the idea. This is not the case, in fact. It's been shown to help people and give them a different perspective, and often to choose life rather than choose suicide.